Welcome back, folks. We have so much to tell you and show you in this video, so strap in and enjoy the ride.
Pop on here and let you kind of know where we're at and what's going on. We are making our way slowly across New Mexico, and we're getting into some high heat again, so we're having to actually pay to pop into RV parks, and there's few and far between once we've gotten into New Mexico, right?
Right.
Nothing really to show. No. We are headed to Roswell, New Mexico, which is a big diversion for us, but I wanted to do it. We couldn't do it, you know, when we first came out west. I'm not even sure why. Oh, it was too cold to head that far up. So we opted to just head on to the southern part of Arizona and just try to ride out the winter, because, you know, we set off in February. So that's the reason we didn't catch it before, and so this is kind of about 400 miles out of the way, but I wanted to do it because I don't know when we're going to get the opportunity again. And when we get to Amarillo, we're going to pick up on the 66 again and trek along it. Actually, I don't think we'll be on it too much. There's a couple of things we want to share with you guys on that part of the leg. But yeah, we're definitely going to come back to Santa Fe and Albuquerque, but I think we've kind of decided those places are going to have to be done once we get settled and can come back out when we're not towing. It's just too stressful. So anyways, that's just a little update. So we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
The first place we found on our journey is Pie Town, located on US Highway 60 in Catron County, New Mexico. Its name comes from an early bakery for making dried apple pies that was established by Clyde Norman in the early 1920s. Pie Town is the location of a pie festival on the second Saturday of each September every year. This is Pioneer, a very quaint little cafe. They serve lovely pies, but if we had known it was going to cost $12 a slice, we may have just given this a miss. We then came across this unassuming historical marker. Believe it or not, this was the location of the first detonation of a nuclear weapon known as the Gadget. It was conducted by the United States Army at 5:29 a.m. on July the 16th, 1945. The explosion point was named Trinity Site. The detonation caused a cloud surge 38,000 feet into the air within 7 minutes. It left a crater 1.5 miles across and 8 feet deep. It was named Ground Zero. Sand in the crater was fused by the intense heat into a glass-like solid the colour of green jade. The material was given the name Trinitite. Although no information on the test was released until after the atomic bomb had been used as a weapon, the flash of light and shockwave made a vivid impression over an area with a radius of at least 160 miles. The bombs exploded at Trinity Site, and Nagasaki had plutonium cores. After the explosion, Trinity Site was enclosed with more than a mile of chain link fencing, and signs were posted to warn people of radioactivity. In 1965, Army officials erected a monument on Ground Zero, and in 1975, the National Park Service designated Trinity Site as a National Historic Landmark. So as Gina just said, we are in Billy the Kid country. There's more frontier history in and around this area than anywhere else in New Mexico. Lincoln County has been home to some of the most storied historical figures in the history of the West. None more so than Billy the Kid, an American outlaw who was one of the most notorious gunfighters of the American West. Billy fell into a career of thievery and lawlessness, wandering throughout the southwest and northern Mexico, often with gangs. It is reputed that he killed up to 21 people. In December 1880, he was captured and stood trial for murder and was found guilty and was sentenced to hang. He escaped jail on April the 28th, 1881, killing 2 deputies and remained at large until tracked down and ambushed, where he was shot dead. Billy the Kid's grave is in Fort Sumner, New Mexico. You can visit all of these historic sites by travelling the Billy the Kid National Scenic Byway, which we just happened to be on and didn't realise, so this is another area that we have to come back to. So here we are in Roswell, New Mexico, somewhere we have both wanted to see for a very long time. In the annals of American UFO history, few incidents have inspired as much fascination and speculation as the Roswell incident.
Oh, it does. So does the Dunkin' Donut.
Oh, it's the Dunkin' Donut, and I think McDonald's as well.
Oh, this is so cool.
It is. It began in the summer of 1947. A rancher named Mac Brazel found wreckage on his ranch north of Roswell, New Mexico. He took the wreckage to the commanding officer at the local Roswell Army field office. Shortly afterwards, the US Army sent out a shocker of a press release announcing they'd recovered a flying disc from a ranch near Roswell. The Army quickly retracted the statement and said instead that the crashed object was a conventional weather balloon. The Roswell incident was not widely discussed until the late 1970s, when retired Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Marcel said he believed the debris he retrieved was extraterrestrial. Stories then emerged claiming that one or more alien spacecraft had crash-landed and that the extraterrestrial occupants had been recovered by the military, who then engaged in a cover-up. It has been claimed that the aliens were taken to Area 51 and experimented on. There is a really interesting 1994 movie called Roswell, and starring Martin Sheen and none other than Dwight Yoakam, and it is well worth watching as it does give Jesse Marcel's side of events. But behind all of the UFO mania lies an uneasy truth. The events that transpired that summer are anything but clear-cut, with admitted cover-ups and conflicting explanations. One such explanation was that it was the Soviets, as this incident occurred at the dawn of the Cold War era. Whatever you believe, Roswell has surely embraced the whole alien thing. It is such a fun town to visit, and you have to put this on your bucket list.
Close Encounters, or even thought of it when I was writing the script as a science fiction film. If I thought of it as a science fiction film, I wouldn't have taken so many drives out to California deserts, hoping to actually have a UFO sighting, which I, by the way, have never had a UFO sighting. The one person that perhaps deserves a UFO sighting, it hasn't happened yet for me. You know, pictures in the National Geographic about the aurora borealis is death. But I
were first discovered in 1927, they were considered a unique phenomenon. But now, with the benefit of satellite imagery, thousands of ancient geoglyphs are being found all over the world. In Kazakhstan, in the southwestern United States, in the Atacama Desert of Chile, and in Bolivia.
Almost everywhere around the world, we find what are known as geoglyphs. Whether they be the Nazca lines in Peru, British geoglyphs, to those in the Middle East. They're something that are virtually universal around the world, and they've been appearing for many hundreds of years.
But why would ancient people, in so many different locations around the world, all be making signs that can only be seen from above?
We don't know for sure what ancient peoples were trying to communicate through geoglyphs, but the most important thing is the amount of time and effort that went into building them. They're not quick sketches, many of them whole community projects, and the time that you spend working on them is time not spent gathering food, not spent defending your land, it's time not spent looking after your children. So the first thing that they communicate is the community itself. What is it going to community?
Warning. Massive nuclear event detected. Proceed with caution.
It was July 1945 when the U.S. Army conducted the first detonation of a nuclear weapon at the Trinity site in southeastern New Mexico. The explosion's destructive power was comparable to about 22 kilotons of TNT. This event sent a message to the entire galaxy. You are not alone.
New objective. Investigate nuclear event. Warp travel engaged. 3,
signature here to Earth. While they were originally only here to collect intel, what would happen if they don't like what they find? Let's just say that we might be getting a few more visitors than we bargained for.
Initiating descent and landing protocols. Atmospheric conditions are observed. Caution is advised. Storm detected. Withdrawal to safety is advised.
Unfortunately for our visitors, the universe has other plans.
Withdrawal impossible. Prepare for emergency landing.
And as luck would have it, the 35th annual Piñata Festival was in full swing while we were here. This was such a fun festival and we were very lucky to catch it.
Good morning, everybody. Buenos días. We want to welcome you to Piñata Fest Mass on behalf of St. John the Baptist Church. En nombre de la Iglesia Católica de San Juan, les damos la bienvenida a esta misa de Piñata Fest. Les pedimos de favor a los caballeros que si se descubren la cabeza, gentlemen, would you please remove your hats?
Palabras de amor, ¿a quién iremos, Señor? ¿A quién iremos?
So we made it back to Route 66 and here we are at the Big Texan Steak Ranch in Amarillo. Of course, this was just one of the things we had to do. In 1960, Bob Lee opened the Big Texan Steak Ranch in Amarillo, Texas on the Mother Road, Route 66. Due to the decline of Route 66, the Big Texan relocated to Interstate 40 in 1970. It has always been known as a great stopping place for steaks grilled over an open flame. The Big Texan is famous for the free 72-ounce steak challenge, which includes eating a salad, baked potato, shrimp cocktail, and the 72 ounces of beef. The steak is free if you consume everything within 60 minutes or less. There are countdown timers in the restaurant for anyone that wants to try. Gina and I had fish and chips, which we did eat within 60 minutes, but that didn't count apparently. And this is Cadillac Ranch. You guessed it, yet another place Gina and I have wanted to see. Standing along Route 66 west of Amarillo, Cadillac Ranch was invented and built by a group of art hippies in 1974 who called themselves the Ant Farm. They teamed up with Amarillo billionaire Stanley Marsh III. He wanted a piece of public art that would baffle the locals, and the hippies came up with a tribute to the evolution of the Cadillac tailfin. 10 caddies were driven into one of Stanley Marsh's fields, then half buried nose down in the dirt, supposedly at the same angle as the Great Pyramid of Giza. They faced west in a line with their tailfins held high for all to see on the empty Texas panhandle. People would stop along the highway, walk out to view the cars, then deface them or rip off pieces as souvenirs. It wasn't long before the famous Cadillac tailfins were gone, but Stanley Marsh and the Ant Farm were tolerant of this public deconstruction of their art, and they eventually came to encourage this vandalism. The Cadillacs have now been in the ground as art longer than they were on the road as cars. They are now stripped to the bone and covered in graffiti, which is part of their charm and iconic status. Once again, you have to put this location on your bucket list. If you forget to bring any paint for your contribution of artwork, don't worry, because people leave plenty of half-used paint cans. Gina and I never expected our journey back from California to Florida to have been such fun. It was all because we took the roads less travelled, something we'll be doing going forward on all of our adventures. Please check out our next video where we will share some amazing and ridiculously cheap campsites that we discovered on the final leg of our journey back to Florida. See you all again soon.